اعوذ اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اعوذ باللہ من الشیطان الرجیم. بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم. عن فاطمة الزہرا علیہ السلام انہا قالت دخل علی برسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وآلہ وسلم. قالت دخل علی برسول اللہ صلی اللہ علیہ وآلہ فی بعض الایام فقال السلام علیک یا فاطمہ. فقلت علیک السلام. قال انی اجد فی بدنی ضعفا. فقلت له اعوذک باللہ یا ابت من الضعف. فقال یا فاطمة ایتنی بالکساء الیمانی فغطینی به. فأتيته بالكساء اليماني فغطيت به وصرت أنظر إليه وإذا وجهه يتلال نورا كأنه البدر في ليلة تمامه وكماله. اللهم صل على محمد وآله. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسن عليه السلام قد أقبل وقال السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم إن جدك تحت الكساء. فأقبل الحسن نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا رسول الله أن أتظن لي أن أدخل معك تحت الكساء. فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا صاحب حوزي قد زنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على محمد. فما كانت إلا ساعة وإذا بولد الحسين عليه السلام قد بلغ وقال السلام عليك يا أمه. فقلت وعليك السلام يا قرة عيني وثمرة فؤادي. فقال لي يا أمه إني أشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة جدي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم إن جدك وقعك تحت الكساء. فدنا الحسين عليه السلام نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا جداه يا من اختار الله. أتظن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء. فقال وعليك السلام يا ولدي ويا شافع أمتي قد زنت لك. فدخل معه تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على محمد فاقبل عند ذلك بالحسن علي بن ابي طالب وقال السلام عليك يا بنت رسول الله. فقلت وعليك السلام يا ابا الحسن ويا امير المؤمنين. فقال يا فاطمة اني اشم عندك رائحة طيبة كأنها رائحة أخي وابن عم رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله. فقلت نعم حاض ما ولديك تحت الكساء. فاقبل علي عليه السلام نحو الكساء وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله أتظن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء. قال له وعليك السلام يا أخي ويا وسي وخليفتي وصاحب لوائي قد زنت لك. فدخل علي تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على محمد وآله. فدخل علي تحت الكساء ثم آتيت نحو الكساء وقلت السلام عليك يا أبتاه يا رسول الله. أتظن لي أن أكون معكم تحت الكساء. قال وعليك السلام يا بنتي ويا بزتي قد زنت لك. فدخلت تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على محمد. فلما اكتملنا جميعا تحت الكساء أخذ برسول الله بطرف الكساء اليماني وأومى بيده اليمنى إلى السماء وقال اللهم إن هؤلاء أهل بيتي وقاستي وحامتي لحمهم لحمي ودمهم دمي يؤلمني ما يؤلمهم ويحزنني ما يحزنهم. أنا حرب لمن حاربهم وسلم لمن سالمهم وعدو لمن عاداهم ومحب لمن أحبهم. إنهم مني وأنا منهم. فجل صلواتك وبركاتك ورحمتك وغفرانك ورضوانك علي وعليهم واذهب عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال له عز وجل يا ملائكتي ويا سكان السماوات إني ما خلقت سماء مبنية ولا أرضا مدية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مزية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا في محبة هؤلاء الخمسة الذين هم تحت الكساء. فقال الأمين جبرائيل يا رب ومن تحت الكساء؟ فقال عز وجل هم أهل بيت النبوة ومعدن الرسالة، هم فاطمة وأبوها وبالها وبنوها. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال جبرائيل يا رب أتظن لي أن أهبط إلى الأرض لأكون معهم سادسا؟ فقال له نعم قد أذنت لك. فهبط الأمين جبرائيل وقال السلام عليك يا رسول الله. العلي الأعلى يقرأك السلام ويقصك بالتحية والإكرام ويقول لك وعزتي وجلالي إني ما خلقت السماء مبنية ولا أرض مدية ولا قمرا منيرا ولا شمسا مزية ولا فلكا يدور ولا بحر يجري ولا فلكا يسري إلا لأجلكم ومحبتكم، وقد أذن لي أن أدخل معكم، فهل تأذن لي أنت يا رسول الله؟ وقال رسول الله وعليك السلام يا أمين وحي الله نعم قد أذنت لك. فدخل جبرائيل معنا تحت الكساء. اللهم صل على. فقال علي لأبيه فقال لأبي إن الله قد أوحى إليكم يقول إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على. وقال علي لأبي يا رسول الله أخبرني ما لجلوسنا هذا تحت الكساء من الفضل عند الله تعالى. فقال النبي صلى الله عليه وآله يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني بالرسالة نجيا ما ذكر قبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض وفي جم من شيعتنا ومحبينا إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة وحفت بهم الملائكة واستغفرت لهم إلا أن يتفرقوا. فقال علي عليه السلام وإذا والله فزنا وفاز شيعتنا ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. فقال بي رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله يا علي والذي بعثني بالحق نبيا واصطفاني برسالة نجيا ما ذكر قبرنا هذا في محفل من محافل للأرض وفيه جم من شيعتنا ومحبينا وفيه مهموم إلا وفرج الله همه. آمين. ولا مهموم إلا وكشف الله غمه. آمين. ولا طالب حاجة إلا وقضى الله حاجته. فقال علي عليه السلام وإذا والله فزنا وسعدنا وكذلك شئتنا فازوا وسعدوا في الدنيا والآخرة ورب الكعبة. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وجل فرجهم.
صلوات بر محمد و آل محمد. پنجتن کے آستانے کی الگ ہی بات ہے، پنجتن کے آستانے کی الگ ہی بات ہے، ارے سر یہاں آ کر جھکانے کی الگ ہی بات ہے، پنجے تن کے آستانے کی الگ ہی بات ہے۔ یوں تو جنت کی غذا خود بھی تبرک ہے، مگر یوں تو جنت کی غذا خود بھی تبرک ہے، مگر ذکر مولا کہہ کے کھانے کی الگ ہی بات ہے۔ پنجے تن کے آستانے کی الگ ہی بات ہے۔ ویسے بھی منکر کو جلنا ہے جہنم میں، مگر ویسے بھی منکر کو جلنا ہے جہنم میں، مگر ذکر حیدر سے جلانے کی الگ ہی بات ہے۔ پنجے تن کے آستانے کی الگ ہی بات ہے۔ یا علی یا ایلیا یا مرتضیٰ کہتے ہوئے، یا علی یا ایلیا یا مرتضیٰ کہتے ہوئے، کعبے کے چکر لگانے کی الگ ہی بات ہے۔ پنجے تن کے آستانے کی الگ ہی بات ہے۔ سر یہاں آ کر جھکانے کی الگ ہی بات ہے۔ پنجے تن کے آستانے کی الگ ہی بات ہے۔ صلوات رحمت۔ صلوات پر علی کی ولاگر نہیں تیرے دل میں، خدا کہہ رہا ہے جہنم میں جاؤ۔ علی کی ولا گر نہیں تیرے دل میں، خدا کہہ رہا ہے جہنم میں جاؤ۔ میں نے تو خم میں بتایا تھا تم کو، اور بازو علی کا دکھایا تھا تم کو۔ میرے کلمہ کو تم نے مانا نہیں ہے، تمہاری سزا ہے جہنم میں جاؤ۔ علی کی ولا اور تم نے نہیں کی اطاعت نبی کی، نہیں تم نے مانی ولایت علی کی۔ محمد کی بیٹی نہیں تم پہ راضی، میرا فیصلہ ہے جہنم میں جاؤ۔ علی کی ولا اور آل محمد کے حبدار ہو تم، میرے ماتمی اور عزادار ہو تم۔ آل محمد کے حبدار ہو تم، سبھی ماتمی اور عزادار ہو تم، مظلوم کے غم میں روتے رہے ہو، اسی کا صلہ ہے جنت میں جاؤ، علی کی ولاگر نہیں تیرے دل میں، خدا کہہ رہا ہے جہنم میں جاؤ۔ سرور امام زمانہ بلند تر صلوات،
اللہم صلی علی بار دیگر صلوات۔ یہ مشیر کاظمی صاحب کی لکھی ہوئی نظم ہے، حسین سب کا۔ حسین تیرا، حسین میرا، حسین ان کا، حسین ان کا، حسین جگ کا یہ جانتے ہیں، حسین رب کا، حسین سب کا، وہ مانتے ہیں یہ جانتے ہیں، حسین سب کا، وہ مصطفیٰ کا، وہ مرتضیٰ کا، وہ انبیاء کا، وہ اولیاء کا، وہ صوفیوں کا، کلندروں کا، خشکیوں کا، سمندروں کا، اور گل امامت در پیمبر، نبی کا پرتو نشان حیدر، چراغ مسجد غلاف کعبہ، وقار منبر بنائے سجدہ، حسین شجر شجر میں، گل و کمر میں، وہ برگ و تر میں، ثمر ثمر میں، چمن چمن میں، کلی کلی میں، نگر نگر میں، گلی گلی میں، طبق بھی اس کے، فلک بھی اس کے، بشر بھی اس کے، ملک بھی اس کے، نبی بھی اس کا، خدا بھی اس کا، اور ہمارا مشکل کشا بھی اس کا، حسین کون و مکان کا مالک، حسین دونوں جہاں کا مالک، وہ ابتدا میں، وہ انتہا میں، اور کبھی نبی میں، کبھی خدا میں، رضا کا بندہ، وفا کا بانی، شہید اعظم، خلیل ثانی، کتاب یزداں کی ترجمانی، نبی کے دین کی کھری نشانی، وہ مانتے ہیں یہ جانتے ہیں، حسین درجات کا مخالف، حسین طبقات کا مخالف، وہ جاہ و حشمت کی بو سے باغی، وہ کچ کرا ہوں کی خوں سے باغی، حرم سے نکلا علم اڑاتا، ملوکیت کے محل گراتا، یزیدیت کے نشاں مٹاتا، ہر ایک آمر کا سر جھکاتا، حسین وہ انقلاب لایا، بقا کی ایسی کتاب لایا، کہ جس کا عنوان ہے شہادت، اور شہید زندہ ہے تا قیامت، جہاں جہاں ظلم کا نشاں ہے، حسین کی خون روان دواں ہے، حسین کے نقش پا پہ چل کر، جہاں کو رکھ دیجئے بدل کر، حسین اگر نہ شہید ہوتا، تو آج گھر گھر یزید ہوتا، نبی کی سنت عیا نہ ہوتی، اور خدا کے گھر میں اذان نہ ہوتی، بشر کے سینے پہ زنگ ہوتا، جہاں کا کچھ اور رنگ ہوتا، اور یزیدیت کے اصول ہوتے، نماز روزہ فضول ہوتے، پر محمد و آل محمد صلوات۔
مرد آباد، مرد آباد۔ Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We are gathered here to celebrate the Wiladat of our ninth Holy Imam, Imam Muhammad at-Taqi alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Felicitations to the household of Prophet, Imam of our time, Ajullah Ta'ala Jafar Sharif. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad, and each and every one of you on this felicitous occasion. We'll inshallah have the Wiladat Jashan lecture by Rasul Alim Maulana Sayyid Saghir Hussain after the announcements. Just to remind of the upcoming programs, this is, as I've been mentioning a couple of weeks since, that this is a blessed month of Rajab. MashaAllah, we have so many events throughout the month. So keep coming on those occasions to be blessed and take this sawab, inshallah. Next event will be the 13th of Rajab night, which will be Wednesday. So Wednesday night will be the 13th, the night of 13th Rajab, and which is the Wiladat of Amir Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So inshallah, we'll start the program 7 o'clock with Isha Jama Salat. Yeah, and then we have, because again we are just doing Isha Jama Salat, except for when we start program at Maghrib Awal time. So we'll on Wednesday we'll have the 7 o'clock start with Isha Jama Salat. Then we have the Manqabas and lecture by Rasul Alim, and there will be full niyaz on Wednesday. So inshallah, Wednesday after the program we'll have full niyaz on Wednesday for the 13th of Rajab program, inshallah. Thursday we'll do the Shaba Juma program as usual at 7 o'clock, and then we'll end with Ziyat Warsa on Thursday. Juma Salat will be 12:32 on Juma, and then Saturday we do the Fajr Jama Salat. Also on Friday night, that will be the night of 15th of Rajab. That's also the corresponding night for the wafat of Bibi Zainab Salamu Alaiha. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So we'll do the program at Friday night. That is what we expect more people to come. The day is on Saturday, it's a weekend, but I think based on the response, I think it's better to do it on a Friday night. So inshallah we'll start 7:30 with the Jama Salat of Isha, and then we have the Majlis by inshallah. That is for the upcoming programs. Again, to remember those people who are no longer with us on this occasion, and also get the blessings to them also. Remember them with a Fatiha. Marhumin of Ghulam Hussain Mauladina family, Ghulam Hussain Khaki family, Musa Virji family, Ahmad Nanji Kara family, Ramzan Ali Malik, Leela Bhai Vanek, Amar Basundar, Yasnan Rahim, Rusuf Ali, Ghulam Hussain Mauladina, all Marhumin. There are some recent Marhumin passed away this past week. Also remember them. All our Marhumin, Kul Mu'minin and Mu'minat, Muslimin and Muslimat. Al-Fatiha. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Maliki yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Now I'll request everyone to, if you can come towards the member and Maulana to start his lecture with your loud salawat. Allahumma.
भाई वो कह रहा है कि मुझसे भी पढ़वाइए कुछ मनक़बत वगैरह, और माशाअल्लाह ही हैज़ लॉन्ग ब्रेथ, अच्छा ज़ाकिर बनेगा। अल्लाह मियाँ इसको मौला के ज़ाकिरीन में शामिल करे। मा ज़िक्र सलावत अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद। अरे भाई लग जा, आज क्या हो गया। अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम, बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाहि रब्बिल आलमीन, सुम्मा सलातो वस्सलाम वत्तहिय्यतु वल इकराम अला सय्यिदिल अनाम मुहम्मद व इतरतिहि ताहिरीन। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद। अम्मा बाद फ़क़द क़ाल अल हकीम, अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम, बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम। Ya Yahya khudhil kitaba biqawwatin wa ataynahu al-hukma sabiyya. Salawat please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. As Amir Bhai announced, we are gathered here tonight to commemorate the Wiladat of our 9th Holy Imam. My congratulations to all of you and the household of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Salli ala Muhammad. On this very auspicious night, which our 8th Holy Imam, after the birth of Imam Jawad alayhi salam, said that there is not a single mawlud born in Islam. This is a huge statement. There's not a single baby born in Islam who is more blessed, more barakat than Imam Abu Ja'far, yani Muhammad Jawad at-Taqi alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And the reason is that until the Imam Rida alayhi salam, all the 8 Imams were grown-ups. They were adults, adult Imams. And Imam Jawad alayhi salam, when became Imam after the martyrdom of his Holy Father, he was only 7 years and some days. That is what caused confusion not only in minds of opponents, rather the believers and followers of Ahlul Bayt, they were also in a bit, they had a question that how can a young man or a young person be our Imam, because it was unprecedented. So we have many talks, many ahadith, many conversations between Imam and Shiites and Imam and non-Shiites. And the beauty is that Imam Jawad alayhi salam argues with all of them in different ways, with different ayat, but the common point is Imam reasons with them with Quran Kareem. That's why I chose this holy ayah. It means it's from Surah Maryam, ayah number 13. Ya Yahya, the discourse, the khitab is towards Nabi Yahya alayhi salam. Ya Yahya khudhil kitaba biquwwah. Hold on to the book with power. Mazbooti se pakad lo kitab ko, O Yahya. Wa ataynahu al-hukma sabiyya. And we gave nubuwah or judgment to Yahya while he was just a child. And follow-up hadith, as we have always mentioned, An-Nabiyyu Nabiyyun walau kana fil mahdi sabiyya, said Rasulullah, that a Nabi is a Nabi, a prophet is a prophet. Even the Nabi is a baby in his cradle. There's no age factor. And we all know about the nubuwah of Isa Ruhullah alayhi alaf tahiyyat wa thana, when he was just few hours or a day old, he says, Inni Abdullah atani al-kitaba wa ja'alani nabiyya. I am the abd of Allah, I'm the servant of Allah. The critical point is, how old was Hazrat Isa Nabiullah at that time? Let's say a day, a week, to remove all the argument that how old he was in. No one has reported him being older than 3 days. Bibi Maryam salamullahi alayha went out of the city and she came back right away after the birth of Hazrat Isa alayhi salam, and how old he could go. So he is Nabi of Allah, and not only Nabi, yes, miraculously he spoke that Inni Abdullah, I am the Abd of Allah, proving, this is strange, this Hujjat of Allah, this proof of God, spoke the first line which was to be opposed by majority of people. What is that? He says, Inni Abdullah, I am the Abd of Allah. And majority of people still, Christians, they call him God himself. He says, I am the Abd of God. They say he is God or son of God. Please have a salawat. Salli ala Muhammad. A man named Ali ibn Asbat, Shia, follower, lover of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam, a student and reporter from Imam Rida alayhi salam. He comes, Shaykh Kulaini in Al-Kafi reports this beautiful argument. He comes to Imam Jawad alayhi salam while he's keenly looking at Imam's appearance because he has ma'rifah. He knows Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam. This person has knowledge. So he's trying to look for those, heavenly attributes of imamat in Imam Jawad. And Imam notices it. And again, the key point is Imam is just 7 years of age. He's looking at Imam, and Imam stares at him for a second and passes by and goes and sits in his place in Masjidun Nabi. And then Imam calls him, Ali ibn Asbat. Did you get what are you looking for? Mil gaya jo dekhna cha rahe ho. And people even today who have this knowledge, they can see someone's appearance, the way they walk, the way they speak, and they can recognize them, that which family they belong to, and if they're after a certain attribute, do they have it from their forefathers or not. So Ali ibn Asbat was after that, distinctive feature of Ahl Bayt's Imams. So he is looking at Imam's feet, Imam's head, Imam's body, the way Imam moved. He's looking at all these attributes, physical attributes. And the argument starts, Imam says, what are you looking at, Ali? He says, Sayyidi wa Mawlai, I'm looking at these attributes so I can speak with my companions, my friends who are your followers and your Shiites as well, and prove to them that you are our rightful Imam after Imam Rida alayhi salam. That's why I'm looking at you in this way. Humne kaha bhai kya dekh rahe ho? So he's explaining that what am I looking for. So now Imam goes there, listen, there is the question in the way he is looking or what he is after is, are you the real Imam? And Imam realizes that what you are after, the proof of me being your Imam, and you are being distracted because I'm still young. Younger age cannot stop an Imam to be an Imam. Point number one. And then Imam brings up this ayah. Don't you read in the Quran, Allah says, Ya Yahya, khudhil kitaba biquwwa wa ataynahu al-hukma sabiyya. Imam says an Imam can be an Imam while a child as per age. Look at Nabi Yahya. He was so young when Allah gave him the Nubuwah. If he can be a Nabi, why can't I be your Imam? This was point number one. And then Imam goes the second ayah. Read Surah Umar ka Yusuf. Allah says, وَلَمَّا بَلَغَ أَشُدَّهُ. When Hazrat Yusuf grew stronger, we gave him hukman wa ilma. آتَيْنَاهُ الْحُكْمَ وَعِلْمًا. We gave him nubuwah. Hukm has two meanings, nubuwah or judgment. Qadawat. Yeah, mashallah, Ali Asghar jite raho. We gave him ilm and nubuwah. Allah says. The key words are ilm and nubuwah. Imam says he was a grown man, an adult. Allah says can be a Nabi. A child, Allah says, can be a Nabi. And then Imam argues from Surah Marka Ahqaf that Lamma Balaga Arba'ina Sana, when Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam reached the age of 40, and the other Anbiya alayhimus salam, what was that basically? The story goes back to the appointment of Hazrat Sulaiman. The Tafasir book, they have the qissa. The story goes like this. Hazrat Dawood alayhi salam, we all know, was the father to Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam. Both are Nabi. Hazrat Sulaiman was very young when Hazrat Dawood appointed him the crown, his successor, his Khalifa. Dignitaries, the elite and scholars, they objected. They said, well, he's so young. Ya Nabi Dawood, how can he be our Imam and our Nabi and leader? The easiest way for Anbiya Ilahi to prove someone's authority is a mu'jiza. Hazrat Daud says, okay, if you disagree, all of you who think they deserve my successorship, bring your asa. Sulaiman will also bring his asa. You will write your names with them, tag them, names on them, and leave them with me. You will come back tomorrow. Whose cane will turn green like a fresh branch, he will be my Khalifa. Do you agree? They said, we accept. Everybody who thought they are more deserving than Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam, they brought their canes, their asa, they left with their name on it, with Hazrat Dawood alayhi salam, and they left. Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam also brought his asa. And by the way, Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam used to take goats. He was a shepherd. He used to take care of the livestock, which is normally the job of most of the Anbiya. Allah knows why. I don't know, keeping sheep is quite challenging. Rasulullah used to be. Bakriya, bhede, churana, aksar Anbiya ka mashghala raha hai. The reason comes sometimes, ulama, they have a reason for that. They took it from Masumin that sheep normally, if one starts moving in a direction, everybody follows them. And it is so challenging when they disperse, when they run in different opposite directions. They just run without thinking. And it is so hard to control them. So this was a kind of training camp for Anbiya, that people will have different opinions, different ideas. They want to say different things. They want to see different things. They want, like, why don't you make this halal for us? Why Allah says no? Why Allah says yes? So it was a good training for Anbiya. Likewise, Hazrat Sulaiman used to do that. Though he was the son of a Nabi, and Hazrat Dawood alayhi salam also had power. He was a hukmaran, a ruler of Bani Israel. But this is the beauty. Hazrat Dawood himself used to work. He used to make what? Shields. And Allah had given him the ikhtiyar, authority over matter. Matter will become, very soft as soon as his holy hand will touch the matter. Have a salawat on him. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajam. Anyways, in the morning when everybody arrived to see whose cane, it was like a dry wood, right? Dry wood doesn't grow, doesn't have any leaf, doesn't look like green. But the cane of Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam, only his cane had turned into a fresh, new growing branch. It had leaves even on it. Then everybody surrendered and submitted to the Khilafat of Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam, a Nabi. Imam Jawad meant that they saw such a simple thing and believed in the Khilafat of Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salam. And I am giving you the news of Quran. And I have the knowledge of Quran, the way Imam presented. And then Imam brings up a strange argument in the view of his followers. Now, because we have heard it many times and likeness, so it's not strange for us, but the logic is very found and strong. Imam says, Quran-e-Kareem, don't you read in Quran-e-Kareem? Ala basiratin ana wa man ittabi'ani. This is regarding our Holy Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Sallallahu Muhammad. Imam says that, did our Rasul not say, and Quran quotes, Allah says that my apostle said that I am on the correct vision. Wa man ittabi'ani, and whoever follows me. And there was only one person who obeyed and followed Rasulullah, and that is Imam Ali alayhi salam. And at that point, he was only 9 years of age. And look how Allah argued. And Imam Ali himself says that I am the only one who worshipped Allah behind Rasulullah. I prayed Allah after Rasulullah with Jama'ah for 7 years, and I was only by myself. No one else shared this Salatul Jama'ah attribute of me with Rasulullah for 7 years. And this was a huge fakhr. He used to boast. And that also gives me a bit encouragement. That when Imam Ali and Rasulullah can be just two for 7 complete years. So after the start of New Year, if we have some mu'mineen missing, I should be patient. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. We get so much. Why are we commanded to recite Hadith Kisa? We always recite. ما ذكر خبرنا في محفل من محافل أهل الأرض إلا ونزلت عليهم الرحمة. Wherever this news of ours is going to be mentioned on the mahfal on this earth, there will be 3 things triggered. Number 1, nazalat alayhimur rahmah. Allah's mercy will be sent down on that place where our hadith is mentioned. I'll just start with this one. Wherever the hadith doesn't mean the traditional word hadith, meaning any talk regarding Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam. When we speak about them, when we commemorate their Wiladat or their Shahadat, when we have their mention, their remembrance, the first thing what happens or activates is that Allah descends His mercy on that place, meaning on those people who are mentioning. May Allah have more mercy on us. Let's add on to it with this salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajil farajahum. And then most importantly, forgiveness of Allah hits us through angels of Allah. See, nazalat alayhimul malaika wa huffat bihim. They grab us, they encircle us, multiple malaika. And we all know malaika are the masoom creation of Allah Jalla Shanu. Wastaghfarat lahum. And then they do istighfar for the present people there. Whoever is hadir, they do istighfar for them. And we all know when a masoom questions Allah, and especially when you ask Allah for others, for believers, Allah accepts any dua when a mu'min does for other mu'min. And Allah grants the same to the doer of the dua as well. This is the beauty and the bounty of Allah Jalla Shan. So Imam completes the argument. Now, I had a message behind the beautiful seerah of Imam Jawad. We all know that he is the youngest among the Imams. He lived only 25 years in this world. But this is miraculous that he, even being so young, had such a huge impact on the society of that day. He was just Imam for 17 years. Was born in 195, 10th of Rajab. Was martyred in the Qa'dah, 20th after Hijrah, 220 after Hijrah. Just 25 years and 3-4 months. What happened was that Allah arranges for His proofs. Allah makes His proofs prevail. Kalimatullah, they always are ghalib. Doesn't matter how people they try, how hard they struggle. They cannot win from Allah's proofs. So what had happened was that Ma'mun, after the martyrdom of Imam Rida alayhi salam, which was planned, and he knew, he appointed Imam as his successor and the crown to the Islamic kingdom to avoid the Alawis at that day and to reduce a large group of enemies when he took the government from his brother Amin. So politically, he kind of, made Shiites back off because now our Imam is the Wali. So that was his trick. After the martyrdom of Imam Rida, now he knew that Imamat of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam is to continue. Shia, non-Shia, everybody reported there are going to be 12 Imams. They knew. Regardless of accepting or rejecting, they knew that the news is there. There are going to be 12 of them. And Imam Rida alayhi salam was 8th. So he was after the next Imam. He knew the only son Imam Rida has is Imam Jawad alayhi salam. He's only at that day when he was planning all this with his associates. Imam was 8.5 years of age. He summons Imam, invites him in a respectful manner to Baghdad. Imam was living in the holy city of Medina. He invites Imam. Now here's the plan. They planned makarullah, makaru wa makarallah. They planned, and Allah also invested His plans. And Allah is the best of the planners. Their plan was to break that sanctity of Imam Jawad alayhi salam, because in Medina the reports were that everybody loves him. And they are stunned and impressed by his heavenly knowledge. He's so young, but he knows answers to any question you ask him. So he prepared best of his scholars. Among them was Yahya ibn Aktham. That day he was like his chief justice, Qadiul Qudat, and the most learned. He asked him to prepare such difficult questions that Imam Jawad cannot answer. So then I can argue that, you are not the legitimate warith of your Baba, Imam Rida, because Imam Rida knew everything. They had thousands of munazaras with Imam Rida, we all know. So on that same way, they invite Imam Jawad in that mahfal, that gathering, where the scholars were sitting there, the intellectuals were there, the qudat, his judges, this is most important, his judges were sitting there to witness all this. So they had plotted. Now as per the plan, Yahya questions Ma'mun that, Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen, do you allow me to ask Imam Jawad a question? Ma'mun, being diplomatic, says, well, seek your permission from Imam Jawad himself. Now Yahya turns towards Imam and says, Yabna Rasulallah, do you permit me to ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Imam says, yes. Ask me, Salma Badalak, whatever comes to your mind, ask me. Whatever question you may have. There's no limitation. For youth, what does this mean? Maybe, I'm saying maybe. You ask me a religious question, maybe I know the answer. But if you ask me something about astronomy, I don't know, some medicine, I don't know. Because I have no expertise in medicine. If you ask me something maybe about computers, maybe about 25%, maybe I know it. Because previously I used to be a developer, then database administrator, maybe I know. But if you ask me something about car mechanic issues, I don't know. So this is what Imam says, whatever from any branch of knowledge, any field of life you want to ask me, ask and I will answer you. Now Yahya says, what would you say is the ruling about a Haji who after tying up the ihram, Hajj, yani now he is in the mode of offering Hajj, and it's forbidden to hunt something. He says, what is the ruling of a Haji after the ihram of Hajj? What is the ruling of him? Imam looks at him, he says, Yahya, correct your question. This is an incomplete question. Yahya says, no, the question is the question that a Haji, after tying up his ihram, hunted an animal. What is his kafara? What is the ruling? Imam says, again, Rahoya says, Imam repeats 3 times, your question is incomplete. Complete your question. He says, no, Yabna Rasulullah, this is the complete question. And then Imam adds himself. And Imam takes out 12 different branches from this question, that this is not a complete question. Imam goes, was this ihram by the Haji? Was this Haji a free man or a slave? Was this ihram at the daytime or at the night time? Was this tying of ihram, yani jab usne ihram banda, was he aware of the issue, the mas'ala? Did he know the ruling that it is haram to hunt an animal? while being muhrim, or he was not aware. Then Imam says that was it a large animal or a small animal? Was it animal of the earth or was it a bird he hunted? Imam continued. And Yahya, hadith says, was stunned and dumbfounded and amazed that so many branches in this one question existed. Now his head was down and everyone in the majlis, that mahfil, was amazed. Yes, he's happy and saying Nara Ali alayhi salam. Have a salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala wa'ajjil farajahum. Everybody was amazed that so many different, things has to be there in this one question. Ma'mun says, Yabna Rasulullah, for the sake of your, great-grandfather Rasulullah, please answer all these different rulings. That if it was a slave and he hunted in a haram, what is the ruling? And if it was a free man and hunted, what is the ruling? At night time, a haram has what hukum? At daytime, a haram has what hukum? And all those. And Imam gives him the teeny tiny ahkam of all these branches. And now Imam's turn. And Imam didn't say, Ma'mun says, Yabna Rasulallah, you also ask a question from Yahya ibn Aktham. This was and still is the akhlaq, the basic ethics of, debating in a scholarly fashion, that if one person has a question, then they allow the other person to ask a question. Imam Jawad says, looks at Yahya. Now Yahya pehle hi aab ho raha tha. Who does not know how to question correctly? How can he answer Imam? He had broken down already, but said, well, puch lijiye. You may have your question. Imam says, tell me of a woman and a man. That in the early day, a man looks at a woman, he's not permitted, it's haram for him to take a look at this lady. And then after passing a bit of time, this woman becomes halal for this man. And at Dhuhr time, she turns again haram for this man. And in the afternoon, she again becomes halal for the same man. And then by Maghrib time, the same woman becomes haram for that man. And a bit passage of Isha time, she becomes halal for the man. At midnight, she becomes again haram for the man. And till dawn, she becomes again halal for the same man. How that can be possible? Yahya fa'attaraqa ra'sahu maliyan. Yahya, confused, lost, in bewilderment, he threw his head down. Doesn't know what to say, what to do. He says, Wallahi, I swear by Allah, O son of Rasulullah, I don't know the answer to such question. And other people, they exclaimed, oh my God, how can this be possible? One man and same women, how can these be halal and haram for one another in a time span of less than 24 hours? They had never faced these things. Now again, Ma'mun says, Yabna Rasulullah, if you can please answer to this question for us. Many has reported Ma'mun used to love these type of munadaras. He was very interested in these type of debates. So he says, please answer the question. How can the same women be so many times halal and haram for the same man? Now Imam goes. Imam says, in early day, when a man looks at a slave girl, this was the slave girl, kaneez of somebody, and it's not permitted for him to take a look at someone else's milk. A little passage of time, if I can say, the first encounter was at 8 o'clock, 8 a.m. 10 a.m., he bought the slave girl. Now she becomes his own slave girl, so he can take a look at her. It's halal for him to take a look at her. At Dhuhr time, he frees her qurbatan ilallah. Now she becomes a free lady. It's haram for him to look at a free woman. Imam says by Asr time, he proposed and married with the same girl. And she became halal for him now. She is his wife. By Maghrib, he did a zihar with her. Zihar for youth is the fiqhi ruling. It was in Arab before pre-Islam era that they used to call a woman, when they used to fight and angry, they used to say, you are like my mother to me. Or they will say, your back is like the back of my mother to me. Meaning, I'm not gonna act like a husband with you, if I can say. I mean, you are haram on me. They say zihar. Allah speaks about it in Surah Barka Mujadila. Imam says, then the man gave kafara and made her halal again. By midnight, gave him talaq raj'i. She again became haram on him. By dawn, did a ruju' to her and she became back halal for him. Have a salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So what was the takeaway from this beautiful munadara? That Imam reasoned with Yahya and all those present ulama and qudhat there with knowledge, with Quran Kareem. And he presented what they could not answer. Imam proved my younger age cannot stop me from having that divinely knowledge which is required to guide people. Knowledge is what matters. Exactly, the Imam also mentions about Hadith Isa alayhi salam's Nabuwa in early time. That if a Nabi can be a Nabi while he is just a baby, an Imam can also be an Imam while being younger. And then Imam says, is not Allah Jalla Shanu Qadir? If Allah can make things talk and things may speak with the command of Allah, how come I'm a human being? I have intellect. I can come and go, move, sit and stand with my own authority given by Allah Jalla Shanu. How cannot I be your Imam and guided by Allah Jalla Shanu? Have a salawat on him. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The message I had chosen is, I was, in contact with I sometimes get emails. I don't mention them on the member. But I have a sense that our dear youth are going through an issue. And that issue is the social media. And especially students, especially the university students. As a matter of fact, a student contacted me, and this is from them. I got this. How social media impacts them and how it relates with Imam Jawad. As I said, Imam Jawad was only 9 years of age when he was chosen by Ma'mun that, you know what, you are the future husband of my daughter, al-Fadl. We all know. He married al-Fadl, his daughter, with Imam Jawad alayhi salam. But first he wanted Imam to get accustomed with the aristocrat life, or Ashrafiya wali zindagi. And there again the intention was satanic. He wanted to taint that holy character of Imam Jawad alayhi salam. But my intention is that students are going through anxiety through social media, and why and how is that when they watch different celebrities, they watch different stuff, they watch dresses, they watch, there's so much to be said. But when they go on the internet and watch, let's say, so-and-so person dressed up in a certain way, they have a status, they have a long list of followers, they start thinking, basically this was the question, Maulana, how can I achieve all that? How can I be like that person? What that person did, who they are watching online, their profile, what did they do to reach to that status and that fame? This is the challenge. To answer this, let me give you the hadith of Imam Jawad first, then I will open it up. Imam said, tawassad sabr wa ataniq al-faqr warfid al-shahawat. Imam says, take refuge with sabr, with patience. seek help by repelling and rejecting your desires. Your nafs will always, have lots of demands from you. It will say, have me this, get me that. Endless desires. Imam says, warfid shahawat. Deny these shahawat. They will make you your abd. And Imam says that wa'alam annaka lan takhlu min aynillah. Be known, you never hide from the vision of Allah Jalla Shanu. Allah is always watching you. Of course, Quran many times in different ways mentions alam ya'lam bi anna Allah yara in the very first revelation, Surah Alaq. Does insan not know that Allah is watching him and her? What does this mean and how it connects to youth? They look at different, attire of different celebrities. They look at their outfit. Most of the times, these pictures, they are, photoshopped. They're not the original or genuine presentation of the person. Number two, look at how many haram things they went through to achieve whatever you are watching. Number four, Imam said, tawassid sabr. Things come on a certain time in our life. You have to be patient. I normally give the example of Bill Gates with lots of respect. Bill Gates, before becoming the Bill Gates, the billionaire, used to work in a coffee shop. He, before developing the first ever Windows operating system, 3.1, which was the simplest, he used to work in a coffee shop. He was an unknown man. Then he kept on working harder, developed a team. They expanded that, Unix code. They brought they made it visual, as programmers say GUI, graphic user interface. As my elders, they know, previously it was the Unix operating system. Computers, they didn't have screens and graphics and all this beauty we see today. Though this is much easier to operate and easier to work with. But point, he worked so hard. You have to look when and where did he start. Same with Jack Ma, owner of Alibaba, and many other. Look at the founder, co-founder of Apple, the company Apple. You use the Apple phone. How many hardships they had to go through. Normally, our dear youth, they ignore the fact there was so much hard work behind the life of these people. They are watching their profiles. They had to go through that lots of work, patience, and tireless work. Then they attained, then they achieved where you see them today. Your time will also, inshallah, come. Just choose an honorable target for yourself. Decide what you want to be. Choose something which is, of course, approved by our religion, approved by our families, approved by our elders. Look at your family, consult with them. What do you want to be? And then work hard in that line. And inshallah, your time will also come. But you have to be cautious. What do you want to be? You don't want to, astaghfirullah, be a celebrity exposing their physical, outfit on the internet just for the plaudits of people. You don't want to do that. Please have a salawat. Salli ala Muhammad. Muhammad wa'ajjil farajahum. अगर मैं उर्दू में खुलासा करना चाहूँ तो देखिए, इमाम जवाद अलैहिस्सलाम ने अपनी मुख्तसर ज़िंदगी में ऐसी मजबूत सीरत मुक़द्दस छोड़ी है हमारे लिए कि ना सिर्फ नौजवानों के लिए, सभी के लिए वो नमूना है। मैंने आपको, मुझे याद है किस साल में मुझे याद नहीं, लेकिन ये स्टोरी आपको दी हुई है। एक दिन ये खुलाफाए ज़ालिम इमामों के इल्म से और उनके अच्छे किरदार से हमेशा डरे सहमे रहते थे और चाहते थे किसी तरह उनकी पाक सीरत को दागदार किया जाए। एक दिन उसने इमाम जवाद को ये प्लान बनाया नाउज़ बिल्लाह बदनाम करने का, उनकी शख्सियत पर हमला करने का, कि उसने 200 खूबसूरत कनीज़ों को हुक्म दिया कि तुम खूबसूरत तरीन लिबास पहनो, अपनी अच्छी आराइश करो, اپنے آپ کو سجاؤ، اور جب میں تمہیں حکم دوں نا تو تم محفل میں داخل ہونا، اور آ کر امام جواد علیہ السلام کے سامنے اپنی خوبصورتی سے، اپنی ناشائست حرکتوں سے امام کو اپنی طرف اٹریکٹ کرنے کی کوشش کرنا، اور ساتھ میں اس نے کیا حربہ آزمایا، ایک تو ظاہری حسن نسوانی، دوسرا اس نے سب کو ایک ہاتھ میں جام دیا اور اس میں ایک قیمتی موتی ڈالا. Look at these plans, how these, tyrants, they were after the character assassination of Masoom. کیسے یہ اخلاقی قتل کے پیچھے منصوبے بناتے تھے یہ ملعونین. بٹ وَيُرِيدُونَ لِيُطْفِئُوا نُورَ اللَّهِ بِأَفْوَاهِهِمْ وَاللَّهُ مُتِمُّ نُورِهِ وَلَوْ كَرِهَ الْكَافِرُونَ. یہ چاہتے ہیں کہ اپنی پھونکوں سے اللہ کے نور کے چراغ کو بجھا دیں، لیکن اللہ تعالیٰ اپنے نور کو کامل کر کے چھوڑے گا. یہ اللہ کے پلان ہے. امام جواد جب داخل ہوئے اور آ کر اپنی نشست پر تشریف فرما ہوئے، مامون نے اپنے سیٹ پلان کے مطابق ان کنیزوں کو حکم دیا کہ اب تم داخل ہو جاؤ. ابھی اگین میرا پوائنٹ، وہ جب آئیں امام نے ان کی طرف اعتنا نہیں کیا، امام نے ان کی طرف آنکھ اٹھا کر دیکھا بھی نہیں. صرف اس وجہ سے نہیں کہ نامحرم کو دیکھنا حرام ہے امام کے لیے، امام نے بے اعتنائی فرمائی ان سے کہ your beauty cannot attract me towards you. آج ہم جو ہیں بڑے بھی اور especially youth, while being in your class, while being in your school, while being in your college, we have a country, we live in a mixed gathering system. Everybody is there with different type of dress code. Everybody can wear about almost everything, anything they want. There's a great deal to learn from Imam Jawad alayhi salam. He was young at the peak of, emotions and wishes and desires. But he did not pay attention to these beautiful girls. ان خوبصورت لیڈیز کو امام نے نہیں دیکھا. لقب تقی اتنی آسانی سے نہیں ملتا، اور یہ لقب تقی دوسروں کا دیا ہوا ہے امام کی طرف کہ اتنے باتقوی تھے امام اس مقام تقوی پر، اور وہ بھی عنفوان جوانی کے عالم میں. کوئی بڑا بوڑھا ہو تو لوگ کہتے ہیں جی بوڑھے ہیں، اب ان میں وہ جذبات وہ خواہشات نہیں رہی. حالانکہ بعض بوڑھے ہیں وہ جوانوں سے بھی زیادہ جوان ہوتے ہیں. بھیا پریشان تو نہیں ہو رہے؟ ایک صلوات پڑھیے، اللہم صلی علی محمد وآل محمد. The last line I recited in that. وَعَلَمْ أَنَّكَ لَن تَخْلُو مِنْ عَيْنِ اللَّهِ فَانْظُرْ كَيْفَ تَكُونُ. جان لو تم کبھی بھی خدا کی نگاہ سے چھپ نہیں سکتے. Be cautious how you are. خیال رکھنا کہ تم کیا کرتے ہو. یعنی اللہ تمہیں دیکھ رہا ہے، تم کہیں پر ہی ہو، سفر میں حضر میں، تقوی پیشہ کرو، اللہ سے ڈرتے رہنا کہ اللہ تمہیں ہر حال میں دیکھ رہا ہے. امام علی مقام کی سیرت سے آج اگر جوان یہ 3 چیزیں لے لے، ایک صبر، دوسرا اپنی شہوات کو کنارے پہ رکھ دے، تیسرا یہ جان لے کہ ہم جس حالت میں بھی ہیں، جو بھی ہم پڑھ رہے ہیں مٹیریل آن لائن یا ویسے کلاس میں جو بھی ہم دیکھ رہے ہیں یا آن لائن دیکھ رہے ہیں، اللہ ہمیں دیکھ رہا ہے. So be cautious. اگر کوئی آدمی بس اتنا لیسن لے لے امام جواد سے کہ امام جواد بھی جوان تھے اور کیسے وہ تقوی اور پاس رکھتے تھے احکام الہی کا، کیسے انہوں نے پرہیزگاری کا نمونہ ہمیں دیا ہے. میں بھی اگر ان کی سیرت پر چلوں اور اپنی نگاہوں کی حفاظت کروں، اپنے کردار کی حفاظت کروں اور جلد بازی نہ کروں، صبر سے کام لوں، تو اللہ تعالیٰ مجھے بھی جو چیزیں میں سوچ رہا ہوں انشاءاللہ اگر تماماً نہیں تو کسی حد تک عطا فرمائے گا. میری دعا ہے پروردگار عالم بحق امام جواد علیہ السلام ہمیں سیرہ امام پر چلتے ہوئے تقوی الہی پیش کرنے کی توفیق عطا فرما. مالک ہمارے بچوں کو اس انگزائٹی سے نجات دلا. پروردگار انہیں پرسنل کنفلکٹس اور اپنے انٹرپرسنل کنفلکٹ سے نجات دلا. بحق محمد و آل محمد ہمارے امام کے ظہور میں تعجیل فرما. ہمیں ان کے سچے آوان و انصار میں شامل فرما. ما ذکر صلوات اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد وعجل فرجہم.
متوجہ زیارت ہے. السلام علیکم یا نبی اللہ یا رسول اللہ باعث اللہ. السلام علیکم یا علی امیر المومنین وقائد الغر المہجرین و امام المتقین. السلام علیکم یا فاطمۃ الزہرا سیدۃ نساء العالمین. السلام علیکم یا خدیجہ الکبریٰ ام المومنین. السلام علیکم حسن المجتبیٰ. السلام علیکم حسین شہید بکربلا. السلام علی الحسین وعلی علی ابن الحسین وعلی اولاد الحسین وعلی اصحاب الحسین. السلام علیکم ائمۃ الہدیٰ علی ابن الحسین زین العابدین و محمد ابن علی الباقر و جعفر ابن محمد الصادق موسیٰ ابن جعفر الکاظم علی ابن موسیٰ رضا محمد ابن علی تقی الجواد علی ابن محمد ہادی النقی و حسن ابن علی ذکی العسکری. السلام علیکم مولانا صاحب عصر و زمان الامان 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 من فتنۃ الزمان و شیطان. السلام علیکم خلیفۃ الرحمن یا امامنا و امام الانس والجان. اجل اللہ تعالیٰ فرجک وسہلت اللہ مخرجک و ظہورک وجلنا من انصارک و اعوانک والمستشہدین بین یدیک. السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ وبرکاتہ. اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد. بسم اللہ
الرحمن الرحیم. اللہم کل ولیک الحجۃ ابن الحسن صلواتک علیہ وعلی آبائہ فی هذه الساعة وفی کل ساعة ولیا وحافظا وقاعدا وناصرا ودلیلا وعینا حتى تسكنه عرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم
اللهم صل على